the United States voted to put sanctions on Russia and Iran and North Korea. So what are this? So by the way, it's a bad idea. We're gonna get into why that's a bad idea. I want you to know why they're doing it. Why are we putting sanctions on Russia? We're putting sanctions on Russia because it's propaganda. It's this whole crazy Russian narrative propaganda started by the Democrats to cover up their loss to Donald Trump, right? Let's remember the DNC and John Podesta would not let the FBI inspect their servers. So we'll never have proof, ever, ever. And that's how they want it, baby. And now it just becomes a truism that Russia hacked our election. So now they're putting sanctions on Russia, and this is from Reuters. So what do the new US sanctions on Russia target? Well, US President Donald Trump reluctantly signed into law a sweeping sanctions bill against Russia, Iran, and North Korea this week. Why does it say reluctantly? It says reluctantly because it passed in the Senate 98-2. Meaning he's got a veto-proof majority in the House and the Senate. Veto-proof majority in the House and the Senate. That's what Trump has. I mean, that's what this bill has. So if he vetoes it, they'll just override him and he'll look weak. So he had to sign it. So he signs the bill. Here's what the sanctions do. Lawmakers passed the bill to punish Russia over its alleged interference in the 2016 US election, its annexation of Ukraine's Crimea region, and its involvement in Syria's civil war. By the way, when did they pass sanctions on us for running out of bombs in Syria, occupying Afghanistan for 16 years? Invading illegally Iraq and turning it into a fire. Also, same thing with when did people sanction us for the bullshit we're doing?
Well, and not only that, but like, come on, this is nonsense.
When did we get sanctioned for tapping Angela Merkel's phone? Which we did. We tapped our own allies' phones. When do we get sanctioned for overthrowing a democratically elected government in Honduras? When do we get sanctioned for helping overthrow a democratically elected government in Ukraine and installing right-wingers? When do we get sanctioned for any of that? This is all, so just so you know, this is propaganda.
Well, not only that, how long ago did the Crimea happen and why are we doing sanctions now? So if it matters, why don't we do it back then? Why are we doing it now? This is a lot like when we want to invade Saddam Hussein for gassing his own people, which had happened like 20 years before when he was our buddy. So,
and got the gas from us.
Yeah, it's just amazing. So look, if we think sanctions are warranted, okay, let's have an honest conversation about it. But let's not pretend sanctions are warranted because of Crimea, which happened years ago, and no sanctions were proffered back then.
Right. So what do these sanctions do? The law establishes a review process that allows Congress to block any effort by Trump to ease or lift sanctions on Russia. So this is about handcuffing Trump from exercising his foreign policy, which he's supposed to be able to do. So this is them taking away the power of the presidency, of him being able to initiate foreign policy. Trump or any other US president must submit a report to the appropriate congressional committee describing the rationale behind any easing of sanctions on Russia and how it would affect the US national. So it just tells you more of the stuff they're doing to handcuff them.
But you know what though? I'm actually okay with the handcuffing because there's been way too much power sent over to the executive branch, whether it's George Bush, Barack Obama, now Donald Trump. If the power is taken away a little bit and brought back to Congress, I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with them taking away the power of the president to start wars. That's what I want them to take away, right? Because right now, when we're bombing in Syria, when we're bombing in Libya, they're using that same authorization that we gave to President Bush to go into Afghanistan to fight terrorism. So that's why they go, we're going into Somalia. Why? To fight terrorism. We're going into Syria. Why? To fight terrorism. Really? We're going to Libya. Why? To fight terrorism. So this is all about fighting, which is all bullshit, right? So this is the endless war for endless peace. And now we have an enemy we could never defeat, so we can be at war forever. And that's exactly what the military-industrial complex wants. Hey, are you sick and tired of corporate Democrats? So are we. So why not become a member of the Young Turks and help us say no to corporate money? If you become a member and help support shows like the Aggressive Progressives who are pissed off at corporate Democrats, go to tytnetwork.com/join. It's only $10 a month. It helps keep us independent and keep bringing you the truth.